Welcome back. You know, Rudy Giuliani, here's what goes through my head on this. Let's say 5% of this is accurate, or 10% of this is accurate. And you're reading off of emails. I'm reading off of emails reported in the New York Post. In other words, we didn't make this stuff up. So they're going to question the emails and so on. Let's assume 5 or 10% of this is accurate. We wouldn't even know that because the press is not even pursuing this. Again, I went through what the New York Times said, and they stuck it deep into their paper. The Washington Post, the same thing. You're attacked. The sources are attacked. How do we know this is legitimate? I say to the press, how do you know it's not? Why aren't you taking a look at this? Why are you protecting this family to such an extent? Well, on the other side, you make mountains out of molehills when it comes to the President of the United States. You're more than happy to receive so-called tax returns that are leaked illegally. Felonies are committed, to go through them, to look at the president's tax returns, and he takes apparently the same deductions the New York Times Corporation takes, by the way, Rudy Giuliani. You're willing to go after his family. We now know everything you said about Russia collusion was an absolute lie. And here you're presented with emails, you're presented with individuals, you're presented with names and dates and times, and nothing? No independent investigations? Aren't you shocked by this?
Yeah, I'm totally shocked by it and disgusted. Having been in the Justice Department for 17 years, I mean, this is a disgrace. I mean, there's an email here that if you're a law enforcement agent and you don't ask the question, you should be fired. Obviously, Hunter, near the end, gets tired of all the money he has to kick back. So he describes beautifully the 30-year relationship, because I've always contended this is a 30-year racketeering case. Hunter's family is the conduit of money to Joe. He basically admits it. He says to his daughter, hope you all can do what I did and pay for everything for this entire family for 30 years. It's really hard, but don't worry, unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half your salary. So basically Hunter Biden is saying he supported the family for 30 years. Of course, Hunter Biden couldn't support anyone. He was a drug addict for 30 years. He supported the family on the bribe money coming to Joe Biden. He paid for the houses, he paid for the weddings, he paid for his younger sister's education. Joe didn't pay for anything.
How do we know this isn't from Hunter, fluff talk, braggadocio or something? Do we know that?
Don't you investigate it, though? I don't know that, but I do know it has to be investigated. It says, and this would be, and by the way, this is completely consistent with the Chinese system of corruption that's described in Peter Schweiker's book, Secret Empires. First chapter, he describes the Chinese don't pay the public official directly. They pay the relatives around the public official, who then make sure the public official lives like a king.
Here he is dealing with these foreign governments, these foreign entities. Was Hunter Biden signed up with the Department of Justice as a foreign agent?
No, never. In fact, every one of those meetings is a violation of it. And as I said, they put Manafort in jail for it. Not too many other people, so why the hesitance to even investigate Hunter Biden for it? I mean, the violations are a matter of record right in the emails and the text. He held the meetings. He never registered. They were on behalf of a foreign company. I mean, it's the biggest story here may very well be the corruption of our law enforcement system at the highest levels.
Don't you think the easiest way, or the most definitive way, for the New York Times, the Washington Post, and these other entities, who obviously are backing Biden for president, to disprove these emails, to disprove the New York Post report, to disprove what you're saying, is to investigate them and see if they can get to the bottom of them? Why not just do that?
Because I think they're afraid of what they're going to find. Mark, I've been around long enough to know nobody was paying all this money to Hunter Biden. You don't pay this kind of money to some guy who has no $1.5 billion commitment to a private equity fund that has as partners Hunter Biden, John Kerry's stepson, you're kind of figuring that out, and Whitey Bulger's nephew. And the press, I mean, that is a pretty sensational fact. The press doesn't even ask, what's Whitey Bulger's nephew doing in the middle of all this?
Let me ask you a question here. What is it like several years ago to be America's mayor, and now because you've represented Donald Trump, and now because you pursue issues like this, to be trashed, and even to have people demanding your head criminally? What is it like going to from 9/11 and going to what's happening now?
Well, I mean, they've started criminal investigations. They haven't gone anywhere. They've investigated every business transaction I have. I mean, fine, it's great to do it. They've cut down about half to 2/3 of my clients by doing that. And they make up all kinds of crazy stories. I mean, about 400 times I've been asked if I got $1 million from J-Lo. Not J-Lo, the actor, it's J-Lo, the Chinese or whatever he is, criminal. I never met him. I never talked to him. I didn't get $10 million from him. Actually, nobody ever paid me $10 million. They should, but they never have. And the reality is, there are crazy stories that are written. I'm worth it. I mean, I think of the line in The Godfather. After all, we're not communists. So, I mean, the reality is that they have tried to destroy me. They have tried to destroy me, and they're trying to destroy some of the people working on this case with me. One of the people that worked on the impeachment with me was a professor at a law school, and they fired him for working on the case. So this is a vicious, vicious thing to do. How do I feel? I'm a strange guy. I feel proud of myself. That's how I feel. I feel like I have the courage to stand up to them. I thank God that my father and mother taught me that.
All right, Rudy. We'll be right back.